So, I guess I'm not too far into this action figure thing, right? So, I like McFarlane. I like McFarlane just fine. Yeah, it's got its limitations here and there, no doubt about it. But I've been hearing for quite some time how McFarlane sucks and blah blah blah. I've even had said, McFarlane is trying to ruin action figures for everybody. I mean, all kinds of drama. I'm always wondering kind of why, but you know, like I said, I kind of like them. I know people have their issues with them. I know they're not perfect, but I'm sorry. When you look at this figure, they're coming for the title, folks. I think McFarlane might be tired of playing around based on what I'm seeing here. This is McFarlane Action Figures Mortal Kombat Series Spawn. Feast your eyes on this thing. Now, keep in mind the gun did not come with it. I added that as a nice little touch myself from a select, I think it was a John Wick or a Deadpool, one of the two. But at any rate, they come with tons of guns, so they got an extra. And so he got one that is nicely fitting scale. So, yeah, looking at this guy, sorry, this is pretty close to a modern masterpiece. Now you could counter and say, well, of course, it's Todd McFarlane, it's McFarlane Toys, it's Spawn, it's his baby, of course it's going to be done right. But if you've been looking at some of the figures, like Raiden, Johnny Cage, they're not that far off from top flight. Yeah. So let's just get into this guy instead of arguing that point. But McFarlane is certainly doing a lot of right things, and this guy is evidence of that. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So, just get him into a more stationary type so you can look at him better. So, here we are. Spawn. Pretty stable, first of all. Great look. So let's get him up close. You can see some of the details that I'm talking about. So the face done really well. The cape is rubber, but it's not in the way of shoulders or um, any sort of movement. In fact, it's kind of helps stand him up in some cases, in some poses. Um, it's going to limit you somewhat if you want to do like the flying things or you want a posable cape, but this is 20 bucks. 20 bucks. And this is why I say they're making the case for the title because their product is usually out there. Now, this guy was a pain to get, no doubt about it. But by and large, you can find McFarlane products in a lot of places for quite a while. This guy being the exception, I made the mistake of ordering just one. I wish I'd had the foresight to think, okay, well, maybe this guy is going to be the exception and order 4 or 5 because these things are hot. And there's a good reason for it. Let's look at the articulation now. So he's got the look, the head. He's got great tilt. Can look up a little bit, down quite a ways, side to side. I like the eyes. They nailed the eyes. They killed this figure. They killed it. I think I like my Hellboy more still just because of the feel. But man, looks, they killed this. Killed it. Arms, you have up, down. You got double jointed elbows there. So he can stab himself in the head if you always want that. Of course, there's other uses for it, but of course, that's what I did. These are softer plastic, but don't let me kid you. If you get to torquing on these too much, they hurt. They're no joke. These spikes, they're all over the place, and they're softer, but they will hurt you. Let's see here. It's got the legs out, forward quite a ways, out quite a ways. That's a good split. Forward quite a ways, back. Looks like you might be stressing that, but you could go further. I'm not going to take that chance. Let's see here. Waist. Good crunch. Swivel. That works. Some details here. So we've got the ankle gauntlets. And like I said, there's a harder plastic there. This one is sort of a mystery. I kind of wish that moved up and down, but it doesn't. But it doesn't really get in the way. In fact, it kind of helps stabilize. So this ankle almost becomes useless in a way, because this becomes your foot slash stabilizing area. But because of that, I think that it probably will help with some posability between that and the cape. You can really hit a lot of positions with things with this, whereas you're working with a lot of balance on some other figures. So based on the overall, I'm sorry, they just killed it. Let's look at some of the details on this sword here. Good wrapping. It's a good feel. So it's got the Mcfarlane figure feel, right? But it's very unique. I know a lot of people say, well, it's not this, it's not that. And I don't think they're trying to be that. I think they're trying to be their own thing, including the 7-inch scale, etc. And they're doing very, very well. I know there'll be some people with some problems me saying they're coming for the title because, oh, blah, 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 they're all cheap and, well, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. But when you get your hands on this, if you're not putting this as a show, I should say if you're not showcasing this within your collection, you might just be a snob. The way I see it anyway, because this thing is awesome. Head to toe awesome. I am going to definitely feature this thing in either Hell, my Marvel Hell, or maybe over here with my other Mortal Kombat figures. But he's not a sideline guy. This is the top of the line action figure. Great look, great feel. You could complain that he's got a trigger finger, but I'm sorry, I just put that thing to use instead. And the rest of him just works. So let me know what you think if you'd like. But I would recommend picking this thing up if you see it. Hell with leaving one behind. Get two. Get it for somebody desperate on your forums. Get it for a buddy. Geez, get it to make a couple of bucks if you want to. But just, yeah, I don't imagine this thing is gonna stick around. So I say it's all stable, and then I go about screwing that up. But okay. Stay. Oh, well. Yeah, we were done anyway. So we'll just straighten this up and we'll end the video. And yeah, my life's falling apart, but this action figure is awesome. All right. Later.